Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer, where we're taking a massive deep dive into the best-selling video game of all time. With over 300 million copies sold and more than 140 million people playing every single month, Minecraft isn't just a game anymore. It's an absolute cultural phenomenon. But beneath that simple, blocky surface, there is a deeply complex game of survival, strategy, and engineering. So today, we're going to walk through the ultimate zero-to-hero survival and speedrunning guide, breaking down the actual data and mechanics that drive this incredible digital universe. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover Welcome to the Overworld, outsmarting dangerous mobs, mining for rare resources, the Nether Fast Track, and wrap it all up with speedrunning to the end. All right, part one, Welcome to the Overworld, where we'll be understanding the massive scale of the game. So, we begin in the game's primary dimension, right? The overworld. And to really wrap your head around just how massive this game is, you have to realize that one single in-game block equals exactly one real-world cubic meter. Literally, every tree, every mountain, every patch of dirt is built on this fundamental metric. Now, when we apply that cubic meter measurement to the entire map, the scale is just awe-inspiring. The overworld is practically infinite. A typical Minecraft world spans about 60 million by 60 million blocks. To put that into perspective, that means there are over 3.6 quadrillion possible block positions just on the surface alone. It's a sandbox so unimaginably massive that you could explore for a lifetime and literally never see the exact same generated terrain twice. But wait, while the space is nearly infinite, your time is actually highly compressed. The passage of time here is super rapid. One Minecraft day lasts only 20 real-world minutes. That means an entire Minecraft year blows by in about 5 real days. If you're a new player, getting a handle on this timeline is absolutely crucial, because those 20 minutes tick down incredibly fast, and the second the sun sets, well, that's when the real danger approaches. Which brings us to part two, outsmarting dangerous mobs, or basically how to survive against the creatures of the night. That compressed timeline forces a crucial pivot in our survival strategy, because once that short 20-minute day cycle ends, the overworld transforms from a peaceful little sandbox into a highly hostile battleground filled with enemies we call mobs. So it begs the question, how do you actually survive the night? You can't just cower in a dirt box forever, right? Well, the answer lies in observation and strategy. Figuring out the unique, specific behaviors of each hostile mob is hands down your ultimate weapon. Honestly, once you understand the exact predictable ways these enemies act, you can totally outsmart them and survive way longer. For example, you can completely avoid a fight with one of those terrifying towering Endermen just by making sure you don't stare directly at them. Or, if you use a bit of positional awareness, you can trick skeletons into accidentally shooting each other, basically turning their arrows against their own kind. Also, you absolutely have to be ready for the crazy speed of baby zombies. They move significantly faster than the adult ones, and it catches everyone off guard. And knowing that witches heal themselves with potions, that means you've got to deal maximum damage as fast as possible before they bounce back. And speaking of unique mobs, we cannot skip the Creeper. It's easily the game's most iconic and destructive enemy. But believe it or not, these silent, exploding green menaces weren't even the product of some sinister master design. Creepers were created by a complete coding accident. A simple mistake with a pig model during development spawned the most famous monster in gaming history. And a quick pro tip, they are highly susceptible to the elements. If a lightning strike hits one, it supercharges them into a ridiculously dangerous charged creeper. But hey, it's really important to remember that not everything in the overworld is out to get you. You can actually leverage the wildlife to your immense advantage. Take iron golems. They'll naturally protect innocent villagers for you. If you come across dolphins in the ocean, they can actively lead you right to hidden underwater treasure. You can even use bees to pollinate your crops to make them grow much faster. And my personal favorite, if you take axolotls into battle, they have this incredible mechanic where they literally play dead to avoid taking damage. So while you're out exploring and teaming up with these allies, keep your eyes peeled for the absolute rare sights, like a pink sheep, which naturally spawns with a shockingly low 0.164% chance. No way, right? All right, let's shift gears to part three, mining for rare resources. We'll look at the best strategies for finding the top-tier loot underground. Once you've got a handle on the wildlife and that super fast daylight cycle, it is time to dig into the literal core mechanic of the game, mining. To efficiently extract resources from beneath this massive map, understanding the game's vertical coordinates, which we call Y-levels, is absolutely essential. It's kind of like a giant layer cake. The total belt height of the game goes all the way from -64 up to 320. Now, if you just dig randomly, you'll mostly run into coal, which is the most common ore everywhere. But if you want the real treasure, you gotta target specific depths. Emeralds, which are the rarest ore, are mostly tucked away high up in mountain biomes. And if you're hunting for highly coveted diamonds, you've got to dig super deep because they only generate below Y level 16. Now, while you're digging around down there, you're inevitably going to encounter this bright red powder called redstone. I know, for new players, this stuff seems incredibly intimidating. But honestly, the absolute easiest way to understand redstone is this simple analogy. It acts exactly like real-world electrical wiring. That's it. With it, players can build automated farms, hidden doors, and these incredibly complex machines just by running these digital wires from a power source to a mechanism. However, your extraction capabilities do have some absolute physical limits. When lava and water mix, they create a block called obsidian, and it is the absolute longest block to mine in the entire game. Takes forever. And if you keep digging all the way to the very bottom of the world, you will eventually hit bedrock. Bedrock is the ultimate boundary. It simply cannot be mined in survival mode. No matter what tools you use, you are not getting through it. Which perfectly sets up part 4, the Nether Fast Track. Using a dangerous dimension as a hyperspace highway. Okay, so once you've conquered the depths of the overworld, your journey takes a radical turn. By building a portal out of that super hard obsidian, you enter the Nether. Now, this is a highly hostile, fiery dimension where water literally cannot exist naturally, and lava flows way faster than it does back home. But it serves as a literal hyperspace, fast travel highway. See, the Nether is essentially 8 times smaller than the overworld for travel purposes. That means taking just one single step here translates to moving 8 blocks in the overworld. If you strategically build connected portals, you can cross those 3.6 quadrillion surface blocks we talked about earlier in a fraction of the time. But fast travel isn't the only reason you'll want to brave the heat. The Nether is the absolute only place in the game where you can find a material called ancient debris, which generates mainly around Y level 15 in this dimension. You use this debris to craft netherite. And here's the kicker. Upgrading your diamond gear to netherite gives you the strongest, most durable equipment in the entire game. For sure, a real game changer. And that brings us to our final section, Part 5, Speed Running to the End, how professionals beat the game in literally minutes. So for a casual player, mining for diamonds, building automated redstone farms, and safely exploring the Nether, that can take weeks, even months. But the ultimate speedrunner path completely ignores all that conventional wisdom and just shatters that timeline. Step 1, they skip mining diamonds entirely. Yep, you actually don't need them at all to beat the game. Step 2, they use careful tricks to quickly build an obsidian portal, jump into the Nether to use that fast travel mechanic, and gather very specific resources. Step 3, they use those resources to locate and enter the third and final dimension, known as the End. And Step 4, they defeat the Ender Dragon. Top professionals playing on recognized rhapsodies, which, by the way, are just specific terrain generation codes, can execute these exact steps, start to finish, in under 8 minutes. Literally under 8 minutes. Absolutely wild. But, here is the most beautiful thing about Minecraft, and perhaps the real reason why it keeps captivating over 140 million players every single month. Even after that Ender Dragon falls and the credits roll, there is no official ending. With over 1,000 unique items and blocks in the modern versions, you can simply step back through the portal and keep playing, keep building, and keep surviving forever. So armed with all this knowledge of mob behaviors, optimal mining depths, and interdimensional travel, what are you going to build with your 3.6 quadrillion blocks?